We also have a full moon in Leo, which sits directly opposite the zodiac, and it highlights the shadows of these areas for us. We also have Mercury going into retrograde. So first and foremost, in its highest octaves, Aquarius is the water bearer. It has mastered the emotions so that it can develop new perceptions. A higher octave of the mind is the promise to us all this year. Because when it comes to being manifestors, when it comes to shaping our reality, it all starts from the thoughts. It's fueled by the emotions, the beliefs we have, which ultimately, you know, sends our energy and our drive on a trajectory towards following that. So busting out of old paradigms requires us to go through the dark nights of the soul and cognitive dissonance where everything is fractured. So, and I said it at the beginning of the year, I'm picking up on zodiacs that are experiencing the 3 tiers of this energy. Many of us are awakening to the first realizations of, yeah, wow, something is shifting deep within me. There are another layer to the zodiacs, and it doesn't matter what zodiac you are, that are actively aware of what needs to be shifted, i.e. they are ready to embrace their shadow work. And thirdly, still there are another layer, another octave of zodiacs that have been doing this already and are experiencing the higher octaves of this place, of these placements. Because with any planetary placement, there is always going to be an opportunity to heal. There is an opportunity to receive abundance. It is the cyclic nature of life, okay? We reap what we sow. The energy we put in, we eventually get back. So it all depends on us and our divine will and free choosing. So, my lovely Librans, the area that is lighting up within your life with a lot of this Aquarian light, like you literally, you know, it'll be grabbing your attention, your focus will be there. You'll notice significant shifts and changes happening within your 5th house. So the 5th house rules creativity, romance, joy, children, childlike essence. And there's this bigger overarching question. What makes me feel like I am romancing myself through my days? When is it time for me to just have fun again? Bringing back that youthful enthusiasm, reconnecting into our creative potential. And it's not just about putting pen to paper or paint to board. It is creativity is the creation of the new. We are all inherently creators. So there's a massive, massive focus in the cosmic skies on this area of your life. You might notice frustrations, you might notice desires, pulls, your focus being, your attention being drawn towards anything to do with these 5th house areas, okay? So I highly suggest using 5th house energy, i.e. creativity, fun, enjoyment, spending time with children for healing. Your energy is best invested here. Your time is best invested here at this time. Now, on the opposite end of the zodiac table, shining a light on all of these areas will ultimately cast a shadow under this full moon in Leo opposite the table, which will be falling, I'm just about, where are you? In your 11th house. Now, 11th house matters primarily is the role we've always played. Okay, it's our connection to others, our role as a mother, our role as a business owner, an employee, a husband, a wife. So where has the role you have always played evolving? More importantly, what are you creating now that's ultimately going to enhance that role you have always played or desire to play moving forward? Okay, you might experience restrictions, you might experience the shadow of the fragility of ego under the light of the Leo full moon when it comes to 11th house themes, i.e. the role you have always been seen to play. The friendships you have, the role you play within them, the relationships you have in your life. It also rules organizations as well. So, how you are seen by the world, the role you have always played. Remember, we're doing a lot of heavy lifting in Aquarius with Saturn in Aquarius for the next 3 years. The structures and boundaries of our lives, not just external but internal, are set to completely transform. And we're going to notice this first as an aha moment, first as a frustration, first as a no longer resonating with the old, noticing definite strong disassociation from anything that no longer aligns, be that career goals, be that the people I used to spend time with, be that the dreams that I thought I would have. So take it however it resonates. There's something fundamentally shifting and creating a change within you when it comes to the role you have always played. More importantly, the one you choose to play moving forward. When it comes to deep soul healing, sometimes this means putting a boundary line down where you experience unequal reciprocity, where you felt like creative energy was being stagnant, because we cannot experience abundance unless the contribution is equal. It doesn't matter what connection we're talking about, okay? So again, it's this role you have been playing. So notice how the shadow wants to speak to you in that regard, Libra, okay? Underneath the deck, you have the Four of Swords. There's certainly a retreat, a pulling back. Now, funnily enough, I just remembered last week's reading. Maybe this has already shifted and you're currently in pullback mode, reviewing everything under now these new sort of aha moments you're having with all of this 11th house stuff, with all of this 5th house stuff, okay? So again, is it the role you're playing that blocks you from experiencing true creativity, joy, romance, and fun? What are you trying to manifest and bring forward when it comes to emotional harmony, contentment, and more importantly, the emotions you are not speaking about in higher connections, okay? What toxicity is at play, okay? And still of influence that you already know on an intuitive level. I think you guys know what deeper emotions need to be walked away from. Like there's this stagnancy that is created when we do not finally release. Maybe this pulling back is all like that arrow being pulled back is what I just saw before the launch, because that's what that is. Let's take a look. Shadow stuff. Sorry. I love when it gets raw and real. Death and rebirth, okay, is what you'll be experiencing in 11th house matters. Again, there is a metamorphosis when it comes to the role you have always played as a mother, a business owner, employee, husband, wife, friend, okay? Key connections have ultimately been going through a metamorphosis with you. They have been the mirror in many ways, where you saw what you will no longer allow, ultimately, which actually reflects what you will choose to no longer put out. Because we have to create some sense of allowance before something actually manifests. There's something within us that allows a dynamic to occur, that allows the formation of these perceptions. Like, again, I'm not saying that we can control the perceptions or feelings of other people, but there is something of essence within us that is released out there to be interpreted, whether that is because I didn't put a boundary line down, whether because I have always played that role, whether I've always held back and not spoken my truth. Take it however it resonates. Ultimately, what's going on, and I feel like you, and it may even be seemingly unconnected, but there's a Three of Swords energy that is influencing you in subtle ways. Now, be interesting to see how you experience 12th house energies this year, which is happening on a bigger scale between, no, that's your first house. Scorpio's your first house. Your 12th house is Virgo. There is a moon coming up in Virgo towards the end of this month. No, it's not. The moon is just transitioning in Virgo. So you're going to be feeling this, okay? It's funny. I just saw it, and it's not actually a new moon or a full moon, but obviously the moon cycle shifts every couple of days. Look it up, Google it. When the moon transits Virgo, because Virgo is your 12th house, the rawness that you are feeling is what I want to say. When it comes to the frustrations you experience, as far as the expectations that are put upon you, there's something here about a deeper, like in the distant past, a deeper betrayal, a deeper disappointment, where you have avoided heartbreak at all costs, thus broke your own heart by falling into this patterning. Wow, Libra, very, very deep. Have I got the information? No, I don't. I was looking at charting before. Again, Google it. The dates in January this week, when the moon transits Virgo. So notice the powerful 2 healing days for you as far as having an aha moment. You literally might even have dreams which seem hectic. Those hectic, busy dreams are healing dreams, okay? When we're sort of running from our fears or falling or whatever the case may be, there's something here. Okay, I feel it might be connected to a Scorpio, it might be connected to a loss, a former loss, an area of your life, your healing journey that you are experiencing death and rebirth in, is what I do want to say. Okie dokie. Oh, why am I putting that away? Because that, my dear, is falling within your 11th house. And certainly on practical levels, you literally will experience a metamorphosis within these significant roles you've always played, within your significant connections. When you choose to embrace joy, when you choose to instill a new sense of creativity, creating new boundaries, creating new experiences within these connections. We've always done this and had this routine, and we catch up on Saturdays for coffees or whatever the case may be, like infusing fun energy to re-enliven these connections in your life again. And maybe even your role as a creator or as a creative is being birthed and announced to these long-standing connections, or how you've always seen is being seen differently because of this 5th house amazing energy. So important not to hold yourself back, my lovely Librans, because you have a heavy emphasis of Aquarian energy in 5th house. It literally is light up time, okay? Put it out there. Really engage that creative energy. Connect into it. Allow it to release from within you. Creative energy can be experienced in very logical, practical ways. It can be experienced in energetic ways. It could be experienced on heart-based level ways, okay? Do not hold back. Okay, because what will happen, and trust that it doesn't have to happen in 11th house first before it happens here with you in 5th house matters, because you are the ruler of that change. 5 is the number of change. You create the change first and then watch what transforms in the other stuff. Don't wait for them to tell you who to be. You tell them who you are. Did I pull that for you? I did. Chrysoprase, wow. Chrysoprase. Nature, calming, accepting, universal. This stone reminds us of the universal interconnectedness of the whole. It promotes hope, love of truth, and a deeper personal insight. It stimulates the heart chakra as well as the sacral chakra. Look at that, loving the creativity, loving what we're creating. It encourages fidelity in personal and professional relationships. This stone helps us to overcome our ego and illuminate past self-centered actions and their effects, enabling us to grow beyond thoughtlessness and egotism, okay, ours or others. Chrysoprase assists us in seeing our actions clearly, stimulating our mental abilities, fluent speech, and mindfulness. Drawing this card, Libra, signifies the need to look closely at our own motivations and actions. Are you driven by the higher ideals, or have you become bogged down in egocentric, thoughtless behavior that satisfies the here and now and not the greater good? Okay? Whether you have that at home, whether you choose to meditate on it and want to screenshot that, Chrysoprase is a great energy to work with this week as you experience this metamorphosis, this phoenix rising, okay, within your role in 11th house matters, your role you have always played, okay, because there's no holding back, because the creative energy inside that desires to be expressed quickly turns into the 10 of Wands, which becomes a burden energy. Okay, because that energy, unless it expresses, and that's the purpose of Mercury retrograde, is to get out that which we hold in, not just communications, but raw energy. And you could literally channel that and transfer that to art. You can channel that energy if it's frustration, if it's deeper healing. You know, you can channel it in physical ways, through the emotional body, through the physical body, and sweat it out. Like, there's literally 101 ways that we can create clearing in order to create harmony, fluidity, and activate the sacral chakra. Alrighty, and the heart chakra. Okay, Libra, that was your quick read. If you'd like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so by heading above to the Indigo Ascension shop link, where you'll find a range of intuitive readings, astrology forecasts, and distant healing sessions. And of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, please do like, share, and subscribe, and let your other empath, sensitive, and intuitive friends know where to find the channel. Until next week, my friend, have an amazing week. Take care.